So, good evening, and it's wonderful having you here for tonight's event, co-organized by SKH Ventures and Startup Innovations. I'm Marta Coelho, president of SKH Ventures, and I will be your moderator for tonight. I would like to take this time to introduce our three talented and amazing entrepreneurs who will talk to us about the vital factors for starting up, ranging from team building, dealing with failure, and motivation. So we have Dr. Elena Pawęta, who not only is a professor at Warsaw School of Economics, but also a TEDx Talks organizer, business trainer, and coach. We have Konrad Kwiatkowski, who has more than 7 years experience in business development and is currently co-founder of Packhelp, an online marketplace for custom branded packaging. And last but not least, Maciej Prostak, CEO of SmartHelp, which enables contactless communication with your guests in the post-pandemic hospitality. So the structure of today's event will consist of 40-minute speaker discussions and a 15-minute Q&A session with questions from you, the audience. Therefore, feel free to write your questions in the Facebook chat during the discussion session. And Zontan will moderate the chat and select the questions relevant for the Q&A session. Furthermore, I would like you, the audience, to consider the question throughout today's panel: how can I apply this information to my professional life? And with this said, sit back, take notes, and let the discussion begin. So, dear speakers, we are here to understand all the crucial components of starting a business. Therefore, let's start with the very first component, the idea. How did you know when you had the right great idea? Any of you about, doing research and making sure that your idea is crucial? What about a team building? Because you need to have people behind this idea to make it come true to something physical. So do you think that diversity is a crucial component of team building? And how do you know who to pick for your team? Perhaps, Maciej, you could give us some insight on this.
Yeah, so basically when it comes to team building, the most important thing is just to find a synergy between your competency in your team. Actually, in Smart Hotel, we are the great example. My business partner, Damian, is the CTO, and he knows everything about technology, and he knows how to create everything just from the scratch and building and just to do what I think it should have in case of technology, and just to make it work. However, he is not as good as comes to the business soft skills and to pitch to investors, to create ideas from scratch, and that's why a synergy between our competencies were crucial to build, as I call it, because we were working together for 6 years now, we became friends, and also try to get people in your team that you really like to spend time with. It's really crucial that it's also not only about a competency business-wise, but also personal competencies and personal skills, because you will be spending with them most of your day.
I can fully agree with that. What I would add on top of that, when you start to hire people, so actually I heard recently that sometimes you need even 50 interviews to hire the right person. It really depends on the position, but from my perspective, when I hire people, when I have these interviews, of course I look at the experience, of course this is really important, but I would say that I always give a pitch what we're doing here at Packhelp, and then I'm trying to see what kind of questions this person is going to ask me, because you can really see and evaluate the person by actually looking at what kind of questions this person is going to ask you. And of course, I think that cultural fit is a must. So if you see that someone will not fit your team members and the company, it's you shouldn't go for it. It's you should say no, not this time. basically. So, yep.
I can also address this question from the point of view of non-profit teams, as I'm active in non-profit organizations, and I'm running few teams which are multicultural and diverse. And I think that your question, Marta, about diversity is really important. For me, it is really important to have diverse teams, not only in sense of from different countries and different cultures, but people with different opinions and people with different backgrounds, because you don't want to have only the group of followers who are like doing what you tell them to do. You want to have people who are self-driven, who are leaders in their field. You need to trust them. And when you get this healthy conflict sometimes in the team, and people don't agree with each other, but in the end, you see that they come with much better solution than maybe you suggested or someone suggested in the beginning. I think that it is very important to have diverse teams, but also to avoid a lot of conflict in the group, of course.
Yes, definitely. No, that is true. And I think that something that is important to point out is how do you, differentiate, and where are the boundaries between, having a team with people who you like, perhaps your friends, and maybe this could be also kind of something that makes things challenging in your team, in your business, because when there's a conflict of interest, like with your friends, it could also ruin that relationship. So maybe perhaps you guys have experienced this, hiring your friends, and then things, go wrong. And how have you guys dealt with this? Perhaps Maciej, you could go first.
Yeah, so basically when I think of it, I really recall one of my memory from the earlies. When I started my one of the first venture with one of my best friends. But actually, we really like each other. We really like spend time together. However, when it comes to the real thing, it really appeared that I was the hardworking one, and and my friend was not so much. And the conflict appeared quite soon, and basically I lost my friend. So yeah, that's the reason I didn't want to start, because it's one of the memory that tells me all the time, like, business is business. When it comes to especially spending time on something, and no one likes to be exploited by anyone else. So if you're like 50-50 and you're into something, you need to just look at yourself and just do whatever you want, whatever you can do, and give to the business. However, when the second part, when your partner in business are not giving the same amount of work and time, this is really frustrating. So yeah, please remember about it. But when it comes to the synergy of your competencies, it most of the time it work out. Like, when you really need your competencies of your business partner, because without him you won't do anything, and without your competencies, your partners won't do anything too.
Yeah, yes, definitely. And I think that when it comes to communication, it's quite a crucial component in knowing what to communicate to your business partners and team. So perhaps Dr. Elena Pawęta, you could give us some insight on what is the difference in normal communication skills versus business communication. Is this an important soft skill to have when it comes to business creation?
Yes, absolutely. This is I'm coaching in communication. I'm working with business professionals on communicating, on public speaking skills, and I must say that this is one of the most crucial elements from the very beginning, because in the beginning, when we want to get funds for our venture, we need to be credible. We need to show credibility. We need to show that our idea is worth it, even if idea is genius. Sometimes if the presentation skills are not that good, and if we are not able to present it properly, then we just don't get investment. And then on the later stages, of course, as well, I mean, in business, it is all about communication. And then it is sales skills again. So of course, again, we need to be credible. We need to communicate with power. But also one very important thing, which I am working on with business professionals, is that you need to be yourself all the time. Because very often people who have a certain position, they think that they are trying to be someone else. Yeah, when they are presenting their ideas, for example, they are being too serious, when in real life they are great guys, you know, smiling, but then they start presenting their idea and they immediately go serious. So we need to pay attention to staying ourselves in business life as well, because this is what people buy in the end. Yeah, they like to see real people. It is not only about business to business, it is about human to human connection in the end, when we sell, when we communicate with other businesses.
I see Konrad and Maciej nodding.
I really love it. Human to human, like at the end, girl, humans. So yeah, this is it.
And Maciej would agree as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Okay, great. And speaking of you know, business skills that you need and soft skills that you need to have, what is perhaps something when it comes to business strategy? How did you learn to, you know, adapt quickly? And is this something that you already knew before, you know, starting your business, or is this something that, you know, throughout your career you had the chance to learn through others, you know, mentors and so on? Perhaps Konrad, you could start.
So yeah, of course. Actually, from my perspective, like I think that you're asking about the leadership and actually how you actually learn how to be a leader. So from my perspective, of course, I can fully agree with Elena that like communication skills are super crucial here. And actually, now I'm reading a very, very nice book by Malcolm, How to Talk to Strangers. And this is like I really I haven't finished yet, but I can fully recommend you the book already. Actually, it actually shows you that at the end it's human to human, and there are so many different examples in this book where when they actually prove this hypothesis. So what actually this like leadership and being a founder and an entrepreneur teach us? I think it's like one thing is the ability to understand people's real needs, because sometimes you have to understand what motivates them really, because some of them they really want to they want to their salary and they are working because they need money. But on the other hand, there are people who just want to build stuff or they want to be a part of something bigger. It really depends. I think that it's really important to understand what really motivates your team and people. And I think that what also it like leadership and like being a leader teaches you is actually respecting your own time for sure. This is something that you have like we all have 24 hours, and it really depends on us how we're gonna spend them. I think I've learned. I'm still learning how to make better decisions and more data driven decisions. And like leadership is like everything around, but you can't. I feel that like being a leader means being charismatic, being passionate about what you're doing, but this is something like it's actually part of you, and the other part you have to like soft skills and the way how you communicate with people is something you learn throughout your whole life and your career. So yeah, I would say I just fully agree with their communication, and I really love saying like that it's human to human at the end.
And perhaps, Maciej, do you have some experience that you perhaps had throughout your business career?
About leadership?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, for me, it's simple, and I always did the same. Like leadership for me is it's led by example, and to just, if you want anyone else to do something for you, to hear you, just show first the example on your side, and just to mention, if you want the sales team to call your clients, to have a cold call, something like that, do the first call. Show them it's easy, it's simple, and I always do the same. Like, okay, I could do it, you can do it right now, and it's like magic. It's like magical. Then see you doing it, and they just do it. If you want them to work for you hard, show them that you're working hard all the time. And if you're building up the business, you don't need to prove anything. You build it from scratch. You already show that. And one of the most important part, perseverance. So like persistence, and I don't have anything to add. Or maybe one more thing. Just listen to the to people that are more wise than you, and find your mentors. For me, it was quite crucial when I met Stefan Batory for the first time. I don't, for sure you know them. You know him, it's the founder of Booksy, he's the founder of iTaxi, and it was one of the most important meetings I have, business meeting in my life. And it was not so long time ago, it was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I met Stefan, and I was like, oh my God, this guy is like here, I'm here. So yeah, learn, and be persistent in it, yeah.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I think mentorship can be quite useful when you want to, figure out where you should go and how you should do things. And speaking of perseverance, what is the most challenging and difficult aspect of starting a business? And have you encountered failure, and were you expecting failure throughout your career? Konrad, you could answer first.
Yeah, sure. So I think that the first thing, and maybe not the most challenging one, but for sure, is making this decision. Say yes, I'm gonna start my business, because you can follow this path of building your career in a corporations, and you have to make this decision. Yes, I want to be a founder. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start my business. So I would say that this is the first thing. Then, of course, building a team. I'm lucky because I have wonderful co-founders, but actually it's way easier on this journey when you are not alone. And you have other founders and people who actually work with you, because it's going to be hard, and it is hard. And you will have to sacrifice something. I can fully agree and say that when you start it's 24/7 and you are actually one-man army and you are trying to deliver everything by yourself, then you will eventually start hiring people, but you have to be aware of your work-life balance, and that actually how much time you can invest in this, and that you will have to sacrifice something eventually. This is for sure. It's really hard, to be honest. It is really hard. But of course, there are some operational stuff, and you sometimes you have to discover everything by yourself. I want to found a business. I had to take care of legal stuff, how to start a company, how to found a company. Because for example, if you consider VC investment, so you have to make everything clean and easy for future investments. So I would say that it's really good to have right people with you on board in this journey, and make the decision. Yeah, I'm going in, and I think that it really depends when you make the decision. So actually, from my perspective, when I started my first business and I left the corporation, digital marketing company I was working for, so actually there was one person there who, well, actually I was struggling. I wasn't sure if I'm gonna go fully in and decide for this step. And someone told me, yeah, let's go. Like, you don't have any kids, mortgage, like any obligation, just go for it. Now is the time. So I would say that it was a time when I said, yeah, let's do it. And maybe it can be actually the hardest part.
Speaking of having, responsibilities in your life and how that can make things more challenging, I actually have a question towards Dr. Elena Pawęta. Considering that you are also an entrepreneur yourself and also a mother and you have kids, how do you find time to, know what to prioritize, and how do you make time for your business?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of things, and it's just it is your choice. It is your choice, because I'm sure that you will all agree with me here, because all of us here are super active people. We're having different initiatives, businesses, and first when we start, it is like you're saying yes to everything. You're a yes person. Yes, I will do this, I will do that. I'm getting involved in this. Someone asks you to go on a conference, to speak on a webinar, to do something, and you're like, yes, I will. But then after some time, you realize that, okay, I need to start learning to say no. And this is, I think, also one of the biggest lessons in self-development and self-leadership, when you realize that, okay, I cannot do everything. I just need to focus on one thing. I just need to do it right. Yeah. So, and this was one of the things which you asked before, that what did you learn and what failures did you have? I mean, this was one of my problems, like big ones. I had so many projects. I was like, what am I going to do now? I have to do everything at the same time. And then one of my mentors, again, it is very important also always to have a mentor and to speak to someone who went through this already, said that you just need to learn to say no. Just even if you want to do it, even if it is an amazing project, just you prioritize that you want to do this, and this is your choice. It is better to do one or two things, but do it good.
Yeah, and I think that, so gathering from what you said, saying no is to the things that don't necessarily fit your agenda or the thing or where you want to get in the future. So I guess, sorting out exactly what you want is quite an important thing to do.
Yeah.
And speaking of failures, I would like to ask Maciej, perhaps yes, but have you encountered any failures during your career? And do you have a specific example and what you've learned from this failure?
Yeah, so basically, I think too many. And my business experience, I started from the biggest failure, one of my first venture. As I mentioned before, I had a business partner who didn't like to work hard. So this was one of the factors, I think. And I lost my friend. And but most importantly, maybe this will be a tip for the guys out there. Market fit. I didn't understand it clearly back then. When you start building any project, any product, you really need to be sure that the market is ready for it. Not only that the people will be interested in buying it, but also if you would be able, for instance, to gather partners for this business. As an example, it was 2007, 2008. It was the early days for comparison sites in Poland. Right now we have Total Money, we have Rankomat, we have Comperia, many comparison sites that you can compare financial products, insurance products. And I was one of the first in the market. I realized out of the UK market that people are doing the choice of the insurance policies for cars, like it's 60% online. So I said, like, okay, this needs to be done in Poland. And I got some money from the first investor. I really appreciate this guy till today. And because he trusted me, and I lost almost all of his money. But later it will pay off for him. But anyways, so we were working hard and spent a lot of money for like 6-7 months building one of the best comparison sites. But when we came with this great product to the first partners of the insurance company, like, okay, so listen, we build this site, so we compare your offer with other companies. He said, like, Mister, I'm spending 30 million zloty on the advertisement saying that I'm the best, and I know that I'm the more expensive, and I'm the most expensive. And right now you will show it to everyone. So sorry, goodbye. So it was like, of course, and the market was not ready. It was just not ready. And like 3-4 years later, Rankomat did it, and it succeeded. And it's actually number one right now. And I was helping the management of Rankomat like 10 years later with a bit of strategy. But anyways, my first failure was market fit, timing and market fit to the market. Always remember about it. And divide your any revenue in your business plan in 4 and multiply costs by 10. It's the best advice I can give.
I will definitely write that down for my own personal, information. And so I guess, this also answers, when is the right time to start a business? The fact that you need to do market research, making sure that it is the right moment. With your example with Rankomat and your idea, and how the market just wasn't ready for your idea. But so I think this will help you understand when is the right time. And also, perhaps the question, when is the right age? When is the right age to start what I wanted to start? Perhaps you guys have some advice on that for us students.
Sure. Actually, I can share my story. So in my case, I was 22 when I started my first business. So actually, I founded it with my friends, and then I moved and I started to work for the agency, digital marketing agency, because when we started, we realized that of course we want to do something, but we have to gain some experience. On the other hand, we have to also like this business. It wasn't enough for us to get our salaries. So it was the first one, and we started it when I was 22. But then after 3 years spent in a company, we decided, we're gonna quit. This is the time when we're gonna leave it. And I was 25. So actually, I like for the last 5 years, I'm like running my own business, my own ventures. So like 25, I would say that it's the time when you are like from my perspective, when you are between 20 and 30. So these 10 years will help you to gain experience and understand what you are actually good in and what is your actually preferred career path. What would you like to achieve, and understand the market, understand the way how the world works actually. Because when you leave your university, it's like you have theory, but then you have to gain experience and understand what happens next. So I would say that like there's no ultimate and like the one only good way to do it. But I think that as soon as if you have this business acumen, you want to be an entrepreneur and you feel it and you gain some experience and you have your vision on yourself and what you would like to achieve, as the moment to start your own business. And just keep in mind something I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, that like it's way easier for you to start when you are still young, when you don't have mortgage, when you don't have actually any other obligations, when you don't have kids, and like your salary somewhere else in a different company is quite let's say small. So it's easier to say, let's try it. I have nothing to lose. But when you wait too much and you're hitting your 30s And it may be not so easy for you to make this decision. Yeah, let's start my own business. But because you have to be fully focused on what you're doing, and it's really hard to actually work for a company and be like a regular employee there and start and build your business. At some point, you have to make this bet and say, yeah, I'm going to be fully 100% entrepreneur. I'm living for my business. So there's no one good answer for this question from my perspective.
I can just add to that, because I know guys from Packhelp quite well. And when I realized that Wojtek and the team and Konrad, they're like the youngest rat pack in this Polish business scene I ever seen. So I'm really envy, but do not believe them. You know, they are really special. Like, they're geniuses. In this age, to be that smart and serious about the business, I was like a child in your age, man. So so basically, it's like with the question, what is the best age to become a father? Or sometimes there are 40 years old guy who just shouldn't have a kid, and sometimes there is 20 something, and it's a great father. So it so depends of.
I think it changes. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot for what you have said. But it changes. I think recently I had a call with like other founder from other startup, and he closed his first round, and he's not 20. So he's 19 years old, and it's like, so I think it's getting, it's moving fast, and it's getting like this age when you start a business, it's actually decreasing.
Yeah, and actually this age is when people start businesses is completely different, because now I'm involved in such a business coaching program for business owners, and there are people who are very young. They're like very young, just even students we have, and we have people who are 60 plus, 70 plus, yeah, and completely different ages, and they're all are doing great. So I don't think that there is such thing as the age to start a business. I think that there is just that you have to make a decision that you want to do it, but also I think that thinking that, okay, now I'm starting a business and now I will be a businessman or businesswoman, I think that this is the wrong way of thinking, because you can start many businesses, you can start different careers. Yeah, you can start a business, then you can go and work for someone, then you can start a second business. I started my first business when I was 25, I think. But then I started my scientific career, made my PhD, then I started a different nonprofit activity, then now I started a different business. So it is now, especially, we have so many opportunities that we cannot close ourselves to, one career path, this Japanese style that I'm doing this till the end of my life. No, we should be open to new opportunities, and if we're starting a business, it doesn't mean that we will do it forever. Marta, you're muted, I think.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Yes,
Wow.
I think that's like the quote of the year, this year. You're on mute. Thank you so much. Yes, I definitely agree. And I think, prioritizing, and I think that's something that maybe you guys also agree, something that could help people nowadays, especially students, when it comes to having experience and applying that to the business later on. I think that, do you agree that the internet is something that could be a useful tool for, finding information on more specific things that, perhaps you didn't have access to? Or do you think it could be a tool that can give you too much and you don't know what to pick when it comes to gaining experience in business creation? Do you perhaps have an opinion on that?
It's like with the searching for your health symptoms in a Google, you always find out that you're sick, and you're really, really sick. So sometimes, of course, you just need to make some research. I do not believe that some people just going around with some idea that I can Google up in 5 seconds and show them that there are businesses that are doing the same, exactly the same. They are so big that there is no space. And if you are not blue ocean and you don't have any great, really advantage or feature that will kill them off, you're just wasting your time. So do your research. Internet is great, you know. Of course, when we started our businesses, there was internet. We're not so old. However, you know, sometimes do not spend too much time on just, sometimes, you know, execution is the key. It's a cliche, I know, but execution. Of course, sometimes if someone built MySpace, it didn't mean that, you know, Facebook couldn't start it. Like most people most probably said the same. Like, oh, we have MySpace. We do not need any other social network community business. So. Yeah, but it's always like, you know, being reasonable about the.
Since we're on this topic of knowledge, I would like to ask you again, Maciej, considering you studied at SGH, Warsaw School of Economics, and majority of our audience come from SGH as well. Do you believe that the business theory taught in SGH helped you in your entrepreneurship career, or is it something totally different in real life?
Yeah, so basically, when I got your invitation, I was really honored, and I was thinking like, oh, okay, so for the first time, I will really tell those guys like what really matters. So basically, in my opinion, like foreign languages. SGH is well known that languages are really important. Mine is not perfect, you know, it's about practice. It's about, you know, saying your things, your thoughts and because without it in modern world, you will not build anything, you know, everything needs to be international and especially English. So this is what you can have out of the SGH and network. Maybe it's not popular, but I mostly spent time during my, you know, my first 2-3 years on SGH, mostly in Hades. I don't know if Hades is, but when I was
still there.
when I was attending SGH in the first and the second year, it was allowed to smoke in Hades even, you know, inside. So I was smoking cigarettes over there and I was talking to people. This was my study. But most of my friends, and actually they are really handling one of the best senior jobs right now in big corporates, and they're CEOs of big companies. I met in Hades during the cigarette break. So do not spend too much on lectures. Some of them, like corporate financial management, I still remember some rules out of this book when I was creating first and second, and then out of the practice when I was creating my businesses. Learn what is CAC, what is churn, what is ARPU, like LTCV, because sometimes when people are asking for some advices and they do not know just really basic thing about economics, what they were doing during the lectures and those years in SGH. And last but not least, derive your knowledge from practitioners, because a lot of practitioners are having the lectures in SGH. In my example, my MD was done with the help of Sebastian Buczek, CEO of Quercus Capital, right? Quercus Fund. And I don't know if he's still a professor in SGH. But he was my mentor back then, and I was really listening to him because he was the practitioner, and from his practice I could learn of. And he built one of the biggest fund in Poland. So
Yeah, what actually I can add on top of that is that, like being a practitioner, it's like when SGH is not my alma mater, but I've been studying management on the University of Warsaw. And what I can say, recently we had this kind of mentorship training hours, like strictly from management here at Packhelp. And what I realized is that actually when you study, you are not a practitioner, but after a couple of years, like in my case, 5 years of running your own business, being an entrepreneur, you can actually understand much more and you can actually benefit from this knowledge. For example, lean management, like all this kind of strategies and this kind of rules you learn about during your studies. So after a couple of years being entrepreneur, running your business, or being working as a manager somewhere, it makes much more sense for you and you can understand it much better. Oh, so this is how it works. Okay, so I can use it like this way. So I can communicate with people this way. And so I would say that like postgraduate studies, like MBA, I think it can actually give you a boost and actually increase your knowledge and help you become a better leader at the end.
So if I could skip the 5 years or normal SGH and become entrepreneur and have a business and then join the MBA study in SGH, if this would be possible, it would be the best. But it's not possible, of course. But yeah, so basically it's like with the knowledge from school. When you're adult, I just realized, oh my God, I could be, more curious about the history and when it was back in school, but then it didn't interest me at all. So this is the same with the business school. And then when you're a practitioner, you realize, oh my God, this was a lot of knowledge. So if you have a time, just go back for some, postgraduate study. It's a very good point.
Definitely. So audience, take notes in class and,
But don't quit. Just finish these 5 years and attend postgraduate studies. This is how it works.
And do not start smoking cigarettes in Hades. It's forbidden.
And just to close this session up, discussion, I would like to ask, do you have any personal advice? And for those considering starting a business, but perhaps they have, they're stuck thinking on what to prioritize and how to keep the motivation going once they want to, make this business. Do you have any personal advice?
From my perspective, it really depends on what motivates you and what keeps you going. There are different types of motivation, and for some people it's money and becoming a wealthy person. For some of them, it's making world a better place. For some of them, they just want to build something time lasting. So it really depends what is actually your motivation and why are you doing that. From my perspective, I think that all of these reasons and that you want to build something and you want to make world a better place, and of course, like becoming a wealthy person. So all of them together combined. But from what's even most important and what's really personally for me really crucial is that I really like what I'm doing. So like I'm really excited each day to start a day at work. I love going to the office. And I love working with these people, with my team, with other founders, and where other people at Packhelp. And I think that it's also a motivation. So like if you wake up and you have to go to work to your office and you hate your job, it's bad. It's really bad. But when you really like what you're doing and at the same time you can actually become a better person, but you're a leader. You learn all the time and you can achieve your goals. So that's a perfect situation. So I think that for all of you guys, it's like the question of what motivates me, what I would like to achieve.
Yes.
I have a long list actually, but I will be just going through remember, idea is worth 1 zloty plus VAT. Everyone has idea. Execution is the king. And also, if you have your idea, pitch your idea to everyone. No one really steals your idea. Everyone has an idea, but at least you double check it. And do your to-do list almost every day. Try to plan and fight your comfort zone when you can. Because when you have kids, when you have your mortgage, when you have everything, you will not pay your bills with some future shares and future billions out of your startup. Fight your comfort zone, wake up early, be healthy, sleep 8 hours a day. Really, it's so crucial. I didn't know about it. And meditate. And start meditate. Meditation is something that I revealed many years ago, and it helped me. It helped me a lot. That's it.
I agree. And now we will give Elena Pawęta.
Yeah, from me also, I would say that practice and get involved as much as you can, because as we discussed the studies and what we get out of the university in the end, I myself also finished, my alma mater was St. Petersburg School of Management, and this is the best business school in Russia. But the same, what I got out of this is the initiatives I got involved in, people I got to know, my connections, and I encourage you to get involved as much as you can. Yeah, so such initiatives as, for example, your student association, amazing. Yeah, so that you're doing something, you're learning by doing. And this knowledge you will already take to your business, and you will know how to conduct online meetings, how to make panel discussions, and so on and so on and so on, how to do marketing, sales online, or advertising, PR online. Because when you go into the real life in the business, there are a lot of things that you did not expect. So like technical knowledge, law and taxes and something, a lot of things which are like you did not know about this before. So it is better to learn those things by doing. And the more you get involved, the more initiatives, the more organizations you get involved with, the richer you will be when you start your own initiative.
Definitely. Networking and practicing, putting into practice.
Yeah.
And now we move to Q&A. So I have a few questions from the audience. This is to Maciej from Martin Kot and Konrad as well. He said, when you started your business and you realized you have competitors or companies doing the same, how did you manage to still compete on the market? This is addressed to Maciej and Konrad. Okay,
so to be honest, here at Packhelp, we do not have a major competitor here in Europe. But of course, we have on other markets. And from my perspective, it's all about understanding what's the perfect value proposition for your end customer, for your user, and you have to become the best and the leader in the industry. So you have to set trends. So if it's like the best working product, for example, an app, so it must be top notch. Like, for example, I personally switched from Uber Eats to Volt because I preferred the app and the animations and the way how seamlessly it works.
And of course, not everything, but simply, smartly copy, because if they spend, especially if your competitor is well-funded, if they spend a lot of money or something, you just do not need to open doors. So, yeah. That's it, and but most of the time, do not focus too much on the notification about new features about it. Just do not follow them. Just look on them from time to time. But the most important part is your market, your clients, and sooner or later, maybe they will be copying you or they will be following you. And this is the case. This is the goal you should follow.
Perhaps, Elena, do you have something to add in terms of...
I just wanted to say, because I reminded myself one of the quotes from my business mentor. She said that you do not have competition, that you need to realize that you do not have competition, that people who are doing things, they're doing things differently. Maybe they are in the same business, but they have completely different clients. So you are doing your products or services for your ideal client, and you have to focus on your ideal client group, and do not think a lot of what others are doing. But of course, as Maciej said, don't forget about them, do your research. But people buy from you, your people, your clients will buy from you.
You have to understand who my customer is, and like the persona, the target group, and then it's way easier for you to deliver features and the value proposition they need.
Funny enough, I had a class on this, on international entrepreneurship, and we really had to, do research on our competitors and evaluation of the market and create our, persona and customer journey map. So definitely going to keep that in mind. So the next question comes from Brian Chiluzia. He asks a question to the panel about financing when starting a business, but unfortunately not possessing enough capital for beginning. What options do they recommend for getting those funds, and what would be pros and cons for each? It is open to all speakers.
Wise people say that first fund your startup with friends and family, then go to VC, but from my perspective, very practical, do not take any money from your family to start your own business. Because you not only, most probably in your first businesses, lose all of this money, but you also will lose your family. And because they stop answering your phone calls anymore. And it was not my case. So basically what I can advise you, just take money from other people. And there is a lot of money out of the market. And sometimes, right now, VCs are really smart. Like there's not the same as I started like 14 years ago, and a VC wanted like 50% of your business. So there's not like this. Like I can really recommend seed funds, and if you have some ideas, if you had some pitch decks, if you really think that this is the time to gather funding for your business, reach me out. It's quite easy to reach me out on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever. I can recommend you quite a good VC. And most importantly, it's also what I can do for you. Try to use recommendations. VC are really strict with this because no one invests money in ideas. Everyone invests money in, of course, good pitch, good business model, but mostly in people. They are investing in people. So first attract your person. Try to attract yourself, VC with yourself, and then pitch with the business, with idea, with everything. Because even if your first idea fell out, you can always pivot. You can always find out the other way, and this is the most important case.
Maciej also said that actually, like, there is money on the market. So, like, when we raised our seed round, actually it was like we had our product working, we had customers, but like a couple of years later, I know cases where people raised money only for the presentation. They didn't have a product, so they had a really good idea, and they were so passionate about their idea, and they wanted to build it that like VC funds and angel investors said, yeah, I'm gonna give him money because the idea is good and I like him. So I think that like it's not as difficult as it used to be 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
But at least try to do a really good research. Try to do a demo. Try to do MVP. Just do not go with just a piece of paper and the pitch that you're awesome. And of course, it will be the second Facebook. No one will trust it anymore. And VC, you will just spoil the way or to the VC. They will not listen to you again.
So there's a trend, like the people are laughing at, like, because it's a joke in the industry that people, like the startups are coming to the VC and the VC is asking them, okay, so what you guys building? And they are saying, okay, so basically we're building an Uber for, and everyone's saying like, basically we have an Uber for. So it's not quite easy, and I think that you have to be really confident that you have something and you did your research and you know what you're doing.
If you cannot explain what's your business about in 15 seconds, it's an elevator speech, right? Yeah. You will not probably will get attention from anyone with the money. That's simple rule.
And We have time for one more question. We have a question from Ali Aliyev. He asks, what are the efficient ways to validate a startup/business idea?
Talk to people, ask people.
I think it's a matter of also having a research. So in our case, we've asked people having e-commerce stores, hi guys, how do you supply your packaging? How do you get your packaging for your product? And this is how we started. And then you build an MVP. So like the first product, you launch it, you share it with people, and you observe and you iterate and you get a feedback and you build feedback loops and you improve a product. So, but the first step, I would say that talk to people and ask like if you know them, or try to find people who are actually your target personas, your target group, and try to talk with these people and ask them, okay, I have this solution. Would you like to use it? How much would you like to pay for it? Is it actually solving your problem? So I would
yes, and what problem do you have, first of all? Yes, so what problem do you have? How do you want to solve your problem? Would this solve your problem? So all these questions, which from the beginning can maybe change your product a little bit in the end, because this is why you're talking to people and talking to your ideal audience. And after this feedback, you can make some improvements and go and talk to people again. So this is, I think, the key to talk to as many people as possible from the very beginning.
But do not talk to your parents or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, exactly. Because they will be lying, okay? And one last thing, this is quite a good tip, I think, that go to the leader of the industry you would like to do something in. The leader in the industry, if you want to do something in, I don't know, the Uber for something, just go to the guys that already built something on this industry, and they could be like complementary to your business, because they will evaluate it very, very fast. And do not think that they will steal your idea. Most probably they already been thinking about this idea, but they didn't have a time to execute it. So even if they will not give you good advices or anything, they could eventually give you their own money to build something that will be complementary to their business, or even hire you as an entrepreneur to build some kind of quite a opposite thing in the same sector. So you'll be always beneficial. Do not share your ideas, and do not think that everyone will steal your idea. Everyone has an idea. That we really short with people, with time, with execution. So you will just be beneficial about it.
And just a very quick sneak-in question. Anastasia Grubkovskaya, she asks a book that she can start her independent business education with. So perhaps you guys have one book that could really help her in starting up. Actually, I will not give any advice for the business books, because I do not read business books, but I read a lot of other books. Like one of the most important book in my life was Matthew Wall, Why We Sleep. It's the matter of how sleep is important in your life. And if you read this book, you will understand why I was repeating it so many times. Different ones about your life, about our the way how we behave and everything. It's also help you when you will be building your business, because as Konrad also said, it's about the balance between life and business. Read all books by Harari about the Sapiens and 21st question for the 21st century, or Homo Deus. You will learn more than out of the business books, believe me.
Yes, I also recommend all books by Harari, my favorite. And for the success in business and in life, I recommend the Bible of Human Relationship, Building Relationships with Humans by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
This one is amazing, actually.
because this is the basis. Yeah, you need to build great relationships. You need to be good in relationships in order to build business, because you will not do it alone. You need people, you need a team, and you need to find cooperation from your investors, partners, and so on. So how to win friends and influence people is my recommendation.
So from my perspective, it's really hard to answer this question one single book. If you would like to learn more about being an entrepreneur, like a genius, read a book about Elon Musk called Elon, about his story, SpaceX, Tesla, PayPal. I would say that the book about Instagram and their story, how they actually, they were acquired when they had 13 employees, and they were acquired by Facebook for $1 billion. So it's quite impressive. Other than that, Tools of Titans, it's another book like showing some kind of habits and tools.
Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
Amazing book, yeah.
Amazing book by Tim Ferriss, like about the Tools of Titans. So I would say maybe this three.
Great. I hope that answers your question, Anastasia. And now that we have listened to these experts and their advice, what remains is what you're going to do with this information. And if you're not sure yet, you can reach out and apply to SKH Ventures, and we will help you. And you can also reach out to those three speakers via LinkedIn, Instagram, and you can find their personal contacts there. And I would like to thank the speakers for being here and giving us this constructive advice. I would also like to thank you, the audience, for the insightful questions. And we also value your presence here as well. And I hope you have a wonderful and productive week.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Take care, guys.